We'll let the. Where is this?
I'm muted right now. Thank you. Yo.
We're live shortly here. Too far. As we're tuning in live right now, we're gonna let some guys get on.
You're moving just like a degenerate. Heavy antic is feeling distasteful. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. Fabricating stories on the family front, cause you heard Mr. Morale. A pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tails on you now. You're not a rap artist, you a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. I make music that electrify 'em. You make music that pacify 'em. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. Know you're a master manipulator and habitual liar too. But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. Shoo! 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 Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I'm out the way, yeah, I'm low, okay. Yeah, the island right here is remote, okay. I ain't thinking about no reaper. I'm reaping what I sow, okay. Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house, like I'm Joe, okay. Hellcat, made his own voice in them types LA solo, okay. Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway. And I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. Oh, you thought the money, the power of fame will make you go away. Have you ever played? Have you ever?
All right, so we are live. We were just showing a little glimpse as we let some people get on. We got me and Jeremy on today, and then those who would like to pop on, we are doing a special show allowing you, the fans, to kind of interact with us as we go. If you want to pop on and say some stuff, just hit us in the comments. We're going to be talking about a lot, but a little at the same time. If you didn't want to go see the rest of that video, it was from the 4TF New Wave game couple weeks back since we played before Mother's Day. That ended with probably one of the games of the season. Very close game, hard fought game. Both teams balled out, and it was one for the record book, to say the least. We're gonna kick off the show like we normally do with our intro, and then kind of just go from there. And then we'll get right into the big news and everything.
Yes, sir.
If you're just tuning in, we're coming into today on the Comish Podcast 515. We got Jeremy here. If you were looking to get on the show tonight, let us know. We'll talk some football. We're going to kick off the show just talking about this coming week. We got end of the season for Rec. We got comp basically almost the end of the season, and then Elite 2 at the end of the season. And with only one game that got pushed back to some stuff. Besides that, everyone's pretty much finishing up this week, and
Right.
we're going to go into the Memorial Day tournament, where some teams are going to be playing in that tournament, but not necessarily have to bounce back right after on June 2nd to go right into playoffs. And Rec's the only division that is doing that, but they don't also have so many guys in that tournament, so it kind of works out in a way for everyone overall. It's going to be, I say, a crazy week. I think there's a lot of things to talk about and to unpack, especially in the Rec category, where you got two teams that are still undefeated in there, which you got Rumple Pigs and Wild Boys. And Rumple Pigs is a team that we did not expect coming through. Didn't even know themselves, kind of shocked a lot of people, are up there with Wild Boys. And mind you, both of these teams did lose in the in-season tournament. But
Yeah, absolutely. I think It's not a surprise anymore. Rumble Pigs, I think it's a surprise that they're going to go undefeated. That was definitely a surprise. And same with Wild Boys. I think you have two teams in rec right now who are making a lot of noise that we talked about probably as being good teams, but not definitely being ones to push the record as it is. So yeah, you're absolutely right. The rec has actually got some pretty good games coming this last week to finish it off.
Well, yeah, you're talking about just overall the standings for rec. You got Wild Boys, Rumple Pigs, and Midwest Jokers right there leading that pack.
Right.
Wild Boys and Rumple Pigs undefeated. Midwest Jokers are only 8-1, and then you go down to the fourth place where you got Meta Militia at 5-3.
Right.
So you have a
5-3, but they've been playing very well lately. So
correct.
5-3, but their record definitely puts them as one of the top their last couple games.
What
and coming out of the season tournament.
Correct, because and then you're literally talking about 1, 2, and 3 is pretty much set for the most part.
Right.
Wild Boys play Midwest Jokers this week.
Yeah, that's the game of the week for me for rec. I believe right there kind of tells you that's two top teams going at it. Wild Boys want to remain undefeated, and I know Jokers want to put an L in that column. So that's going to be a very good game. And like I said, Jokers have been, they have one loss, but it was very close, loss. And I think that they kind of have a bad taste in their mouth because of that. So they easily could be undefeated as well, which is, crazy to have three teams like that.
No, it is. And then you're talking about even like the rest of the standings. You got Meta Militia currently sitting at 4 with Black Mambas at 5, Venom at 6, which you got that pack. And then you have as well as Menergy at number 7. But that 4, 5, 6, and 7, it can kind of sway a little bit. Menergy can get that extra win, go 4 and 6, tie it up with Venom. Venom can lose one, or sorry, I'm trying to get Kendrick on right now. Should send it again. And then you got below that at 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That can kind of move around as well. So we know the kind of where everyone's going to land in the bracket. Right. But I think depending on what matchups and actually end up happening, which is going to be really hard to say because if you're looking at that, the way the bracket is laid out, here, I'll say the bracket real quick.
Dude, I was going to say, do one or two teams get buys in the bracket?
For rec, speaking of him, rec, you got the play-in game, which is the first round, which is you got 1 through 4 get the bye automatically to the Elite 8.
Okay.
So the playing game is 12 versus 11. Okay. The winner of that plays 8. And then the winner of that plays 1.
Okay.
So actually, I'm sorry, 1 through 6 is bye all the way to the Elite 8. And then you have, on the other side of it, you have 9 and 10, and winner of that plays 7, winner of that plays 2. So you're going to have 3 and 6, and then 4 and 5. So if you're looking at the standings wise, 3 through 4. Well, we said 4 through 7 is pretty much can switch up anyway in that matchup, and one of those teams might actually have to play an extra game to get knocked into that wild card round.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot can be shaken up with that because you don't know that 4 and 5. If Meta Militia and Black Mambas kind of stay consistent, you're going to see them. But it's curious to see who may end up in that 3 seed to potentially play the 6 seed is going to be the bigger question.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy to think that, too, they're playing for 2,500. They're playing for as much as Elite is right now, which is kind of unseen for a rec. So it's big stakes on the line for rec.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Speaking of Joker himself, and then I think that's like the magnitude of it too. Is like this is the biggest rec payout we have, and you got one of the top 3 teams right here, Kendrick, with the Jokers, who's been still in the winning category, is adapting with change, especially with the whole thing with the quarterback. How are you guys feeling?
Hey, first of all, hope y'all, treated y'all baby mamas and wives and stuff like that. That's had a good week off type shit.
Yep.
Thank you for having me on. I gotta talk my shit. Gotta talk my shit for my team, man. Because I will say, when Alex went down, we caught a lot of heat with like we're done. We did lose one game. We lost to the Rumple Pigs, 6-0. It's a good team. Give them their flowers. We talked about this, but still, we only lost to them 6-0.
Speaking of Rumple Pigs,
there go my guy.
So
Yes, sir.
I
Look,
saw you hop on. I had to hop on.
yes, sir. But look, I'm telling you right now, I'm doing something that I've never done. I'm not on here to
Uh-oh.
brag.
Uh-oh.
We did some dumbass shit. We took our QB our backup QB off the roster, not thinking that some shit like this could happen. And here we are. They threw me in there. If anybody played with me, I've only played receiver my entire life, and I just got thrown in the fire. I tell you what, I ain't never. My mom ain't raised no hoe. I'm here to ball. Shit, I lost against Rumple Pigs. Fuck them, but I love them. But fuck them still. But all I know is we about to play Wild Boys. We looked at the bracket up and down. We obviously not looking past them. We know what they're gonna come with, but we ready to swing back. I'm ready. Shit. Um, Last time we played Wild Boys, we lost. I threw this out there a few weeks back, so that's something we've been waiting for this get back for a minute. That was the last team. Actually, the last team to beat us. We lost to 3 teams in basically the last year. It was Rumple Pigs, Bullies, Wild Boys. That was the only 3 L's we've taken in the last year. So we got a lot. We got a lot of shit to handle. And like y'all said before, bro, it's a lot at stake here. This game basically is for the 2 seed, um, which I mean, what 4 to get by. So we beat Wild Boys. I think that puts us at 2 seed.
Well, you think about it though, if you get put you guys are in the position where you can upset Wild Boys' perfect season, knock Rumple Pigs, a team that beat you into
We
the
hope so.
first seed, and then you guys would have that tiebreaker win over Wild Boys, would be putting you guys in that second seed. So your guys' game is a determination of, hey, are we going to be end up playing the 6th seed, or are we going to play one of the lowest seeds
exactly
of the season? And that can
we
change up your
actually end
game.
up. The irony is, I mean, if we lose, if we actually would end up playing Venom again in the first round. Because I believe we if we mapped it out right, because I don't think Venom can move up or down from their seed right now.
They can.
Can they move down
Yes.
to where?
Because Menergy's at 3 and 6. So if Venom loses, they can. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check the head-to-heads real quick. Oh, I lied. No, Venom's stuck at 6 no matter
I was
what.
gonna say, yeah. I was about to say I did some homework. I did some homework, man.
You're right. Yeah. So
I've been in the
really,
lab.
6 seeds locked in.
Bracketology.
Yes, sir. So
6 seeds locked in.
So we figured it, but that's not kind of how we're looking at it. Either way, we're trying to get this dub. But I did see that if we lost, we play Venom again. We win. I do see we basically play. I don't even know. It's like 3 possibilities of teams. I think we end up playing. I think it's like 7, 9, and 10 seed or something like that. Which I don't even know who that is, which is crazy. All these teams are like got the same record. But
Well, if you guys end up the 2 seed, right? You're seeing you would potentially Venom's the 7th seed. I mean, not Venom. Menergy's the 7th seed right now, and the 9th and 10th seed is currently sitting at Only Hands and Caught Looking, which Caught Looking is the team that the Rumple Pigs are actually playing Sunday. No, I lied. They're playing Bandits.
No.
Yeah.
No, we have now A-Town Spartans.
That's right. I was looking at the A-Town logo. My bad, guys. So, and even the lower amount, if A-Town beats Rumple Pigs, that goes 3. They got a double header actually, but we'll get into that game. But it can still the bottom more or less. You don't know who you're potentially going to see because it may get switched up in that bottom 4. That's basically what to say.
Look, so basically, all I hear is Rumple Pigs is going to be serving us oranges on the side so they can get the buy.
Pasta.
So they get the 1 seed. Pasta, oranges.
I'm a Jokers fan for the first time and only time ever this week.
Hey, look, man, but we motivated, man. I think that like not only did that L against Militia kind of humbled us, but like losing to Rumple Pigs, they like humbled us again. You know, because we were a team that kind of walked with our heads up high, a lot of confidence, talked a lot of shit, and that's not gonna stop. But it kind of like woke us up, like shit, we can lose. Like what I'm saying, people, we got a target on our back, and again, people think we down and out. Obviously, we lost one of the most valuable pieces on our team, but I'll tell you what, like we kind of revamped, and try to find something that's going to work for us without him, which is Alex. If
So,
everyone knows
do you
by now,
feel,
so.
out of curiosity, I know that you're talking about the Jokers, right? You guys are
Mhm.
primarily a spring and fall team,
Mhm.
right? So you guys are already down some numbers going into the playoffs. Do you think some guys may make an early return because you're not foreseen to play in summer that might affect your guys' game at all? Or do you guys think that you're kind of stay the way you've been going?
I mean, we got a few people that might be sliding back. Like I said, we lost a lot of bodies at the in-season tournament, a lot of injuries. Some that was like they're just done for basically like the rest of the year, or at least the rest of the season. But we got a few bodies that's gonna be coming back. That's gonna be huge. Hopefully, not set in stone, but I don't know if that'll dictate or not. If some people can come back earlier, we always like still preach like, man, it's health, man. You got a life after Sunday, so take care of yourself. Like if you've been at the field, this dude Alex is still trying to step on the field and throw the ball, and this man got to get surgery in like a week or two. So it's like, man, go take care of yourself. But like that's how bad like our team want to play. If somebody is healthy enough to do it, I guarantee that they will strap up and step on that field. But at the end of the day, we're gonna put the people who healthy and ready to go on the field. So.
I mean, now, do we think that we're going to see a good amount of people? I know Rumple Pigs. I don't know how you guys are feeling and injury wise and all that on your end. Another team that's not we won't possibly see back till most likely till fall.
Mhm.
Where's your guys' mentality at with those potential injuries that you guys had already?
Yeah, so going into the season, we had a quarterback. We were supposed to start this next year. We had a stud quarterback that wanted to do it, so we're like, fuck it, we'll start this year. He backed out before the season started, and we ended up tossing our number one wideout and our safety at quarterback, kind of like what the Jokers have been forced to do with their injury. So we were rolling with a wideout who's never played quarterback the first 4 weeks. He went down. We had a 19-year-old kid come in and end up winning, five games in a row. So injury wise, yes, the best player on both sides of the ball for us has been out for 5 or 6 weeks. He's like 80-90% back now, so we'll see. From our perspective, though, I think we could beat anybody. I unfortunately think we could lose to anybody only because we're young and inexperienced. We probably should have gotten beat last week. Um,
And we're
to
going to see some summertime Rumple Pigs, but not in league play, correct?
Yeah, so the pigs we're not getting in summer. A lot of the guys are wanting to play. I know we've had some talks with a few other teams too. I don't know why everybody's pigs fans, but Kendrick wants to play on the pigs. Everybody wants to play on the pigs. No, I'm just
He
kidding.
said,
But we'll see. We'll see. We got a bunch of guys that want to play. Some of the older guys
I'm
aren't
talking
really
more
wanting to
about
do
you guys
summer.
are going to branch out into the tournament aspect of summer.
Oh yeah. So we're getting in the July tournament just to get our feet wet. Who knows? We'll see. If we succeed, great. If we don't, that's okay too. But it'll be the first real experience playing multiple games, multiple days, stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, when stuff like that happens, whether it's injuries, whether it's fatigue, we'll have to be a little bit deeper, which we will be coming in the fall. So that'll be a good test, win or lose.
Well, I definitely say shout out to you guys for taking that step and wanting to get into the tournaments right away, especially after the season you guys had. And we do encourage a lot of the other guys too, as well as rec teams, to take that opportunity of the local tournaments. I know we have the one coming up, the Memorial Day tournament, but we'll get into that a little bit later as well. But let's talk about we talked about injuries, but let's talk about this week's games, the matchups. Jeremy, I know that you have the matchups on your end. You want to go over the games?
Yeah, let me get to them real quick. All right. So first game. Well, I only have a couple of them, right? I have the match.
You have all the rec games.
Okay, so I do have all the rec games. So at 8 a.m. is Bandits versus Caught Looking. Two teams that are kind of near the bottom of the bracket, trying to look for a win any way they can kind of get it. Caught Looking, they're still kind of showing up short, Bandits, it seems like they have a team, but they're still kind of struggling. Kind of a toss-up game right here. I don't know exactly who to go with, but I'm going to let you guys kind of take this over. I'm going to go Caught Looking, only because I know the quarterback and some of the guys on that team, so I'm going to go with them. But what do you guys think about that game?
Call can play who?
Caught
Bandits.
Looking versus Bandits.
I'm gonna go with Bandits only because that Bandits quarterback is much better than what their record shows. So I'll just go with the better quarterback, at least from what I know.
I'm gonna go with Carl Looking, man. I think they're a better all around team. Obviously, I would agree that quarterback's unreal, but I don't think that their team is. they just kind of lack a lot of things, man. So I think Carl Looking got it. When their players show up, they will be the better team in terms of against Bandits. If their players show up, that's the big thing. If their players show up, I don't know.
It sounds like the comments are disagreeing with you a little bit.
Yeah,
DM
looks like
are going Bandits. Oh no, I'm going. Hey, I like the underdogs. I got you, Justin. We're gonna call looking, man, because they're gonna get caught looking face ass.
Okay, so we got a couple of caught looking. We got some bandits. Good. I mean, little mix of it. But like I said, both teams are looking for a win here. Either one winning would be nice for either team. So we'll see what happens. Next game after that is the 10 a.m. game. That is Metal Militia versus Menergy. I have Metal Militia in this game.
Metal Militia.
Yeah, Metal Militia has been playing their ass off, so hats off to them. Menergy is still trying to put it together. They've kind of fallen from the start of the season. I thought they were going to be one of the better teams. Unforeseen, they haven't been, which is fine. Rumple Pigs kind of stepped up into that mark. But yeah, Menergy has been struggling lately, so I'm definitely giving it to Metal Militia.
Same.
So it looks like we have everyone picking Metal. Next game after that is the 11 a.m. game. That is a doubleheader for Metal Militia. It's Metal Militia versus A-Town Spartans. Again, I think Metal Militia is going 2-0 on the day. A-Town Spartans is another team that we just talked about, like Caught Looking and Bandits. They're struggling, and they're trying to get a win, but unfortunately, they're going against a buzzsaw. So I got Metal Militia.
I agree. I got Militia.
I think it's ironic how like looking at the schedules, how teams like either like I guess the top four teams either they started off playing basically all of the top four teams, or like you start off playing all the trash teams and then you end up playing all the top four teams. It's like ironic how that's working out. It's like they had a rough. They played all the better teams in the first half of the season, and then they kind of get to finish with some of these teams that have been struggling.
Yeah, and I think I jumped the gun here. I actually started with Caught Looking, but the Midwest Jokers and Wild Boys play at 7:50 a.m. So that's the first game of the day, which is my game of the week, right?
Which is at Olympic Park.
Which is at Olympic Park, Field 9. Yeah, Midwest Jokers versus Wild Boys. Big game, like we talked earlier. I do think Midwest Jokers is going to come out on top. If they don't, and Wild Boys does pull it off, that would be a hell of a season for Wild Boys, and it already is for them. But to just have an undefeated season would be great. So
it's going to be crazy if we have two undefeated teams.
Yeah, so I do have Midwest Jokers pulling this out. I believe that they're going to get their first loss for Wild Boys. So that's my pick.
I like the way you do business.
I got Jokers too. Only thing that we've seen so far is we played Wild Boys in the in-season tournament, and then when we played Jokers, I mean, we won 6-0, but we literally had 4 first downs, and they were in the red zone 3 times. So we got a win, but I think that's probably a toss-up there. That's probably the best team we've played. So just from experience, I got the Jokers, and for selfish reasons, I hope we got the Jokers.
And then another game I missed was the 9 a.m. game, which is at Glenbard North. It's the Black Mambas versus Intoxicated. Again, 2 teams that are near the bottom, but Black Mambas kind of in the middle there. But so I'm gonna go with Black Mambas in this game.
Mambas playing. They play who again?
Intoxicated.
I'm gonna go Mambas. Hey, why did the Intoxicated forfeit? Oh, that's undisclosed information.
They didn't have numbers.
Okay.
Couldn't field the team. That's tough. I mean, that's
unlike them though, man. They usually show up. That's unlike them.
Anytime anyone forfeits, it's rough, right? So I mean, he messaged. He didn't let people get to the field. You know, I appreciated that at least. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I thought it was shocking because they're there, man. That even though they be getting their freaking faces kicked in, they show up on time. They play.
So after the Metal Militia A-Town Spartans game at 11, we have the A-Town Spartans with a doubleheader versus Rumple Pigs. Unfortunately, A-Town Spartans are going to go 0-2. Rumple Pigs will definitely win that game. That's what I believe. What about you guys? See anything different?
Ditto.
I'm going A-Town Spartans.
Yeah, it was too much agreeing. I agree with you, bro. It's kind of crazy. But here's one that maybe we'll have a
Hey.
different opinion on. The last game is at 1 p.m. It's Only Hands versus Venom. Again, two teams kind of fighting for some playoff ground. You have Only Hands, who's had a couple wins against some of the lower teams, and then you have Venom, who's kind of been, up and down all year, but a very strong team starting off in the beginning and then kind of fell a little bit. But I do have them pulling off a win here against Only Hands. I'm going to take Venom in this game.
Hey, Giuseppe, can I rewind a little bit? Because I feel like we didn't hop on this cast and talk about how we beat Venom. I don't know if we missed that one.
Yeah, we did. We didn't talk about how you guys beat them. We didn't go over scores last week.
Okay. Hey, look, it's okay. I just wanted to put that out there in the air. That
Okay.
Midwest Jokers beat Venom. I just had to say that out loud. But no, but me saying that I'm picking Venom to win this game. I just wanted to let y'all know that.
Yeah, I picked them, Steve. So hopefully you get that W.
We haven't got to play Venom. It looked like Steve was throwing some dimes though. That looked like a good game. And Only Hands only almost beat us last week, so I don't know. It's a toss up. We'll go with Venom now.
Steve played well.
He's tossing some dimes.
He's played well. He's floating that thing, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some. So you got a couple for Steve here. So Venom, I guess, is the one coming out. I got Venom. Everyone got Venom.
Hey, look, I don't know how true this is, but Only Hands. Apparently they lost their quarterback, so I don't know what the heck they got going.
I heard they lost like 3 guys before our game started, and they still almost beat us. I have no idea what happened. They got some fast guys do some like trickery with laterals and stuff like that. They can score on busted plays, and we only scored. I think we scored once or twice against them. I feel like they could sneaky beat you for sure. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll go with Venom just because of the record, but Only Hands they could beat you.
All right. Well, good. That means that we have some good games this weekend. Like I said, it starts off really hot, and when you have Jokers versus Wild Boys, that's a great game to start the day off. So, like I said, Rec is really putting on a show this year, guys. Congratulations to both teams. You guys really, and Wild Boys out there, and Metal Militia. Like I said, the top 4 teams, you guys have definitely put in some work this year, and you guys have opened up some eyes. So congratulations to you. Hats off, Rumple Pigs. Hats off to you guys. You guys just came in the league. You got some veteran leadership over there. Keep on listening. Keep on growing. You guys are doing it the right way. By getting into these tournaments in the summer is a great way to kind of take that next step into becoming a better team. So congratulations on that. Jokers, I ain't got to say much. You guys are doing your thing. You guys have been doing your thing. The loss of Adam was tough, but you guys have definitely got your mojo back. You guys have definitely proven something that you guys got something to lose. So,
hats off, Adam.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Adam. That's what I said, right?
Yeah, but it's Alex.
Alex, my bad, Alex, Adam, whatever. It starts with A.
Damn, he goes so long, we done forgot his name.
Yeah, he's gone. It's been a minute, and he fucking be rooting for New Wave. So I don't know if he New Wave or Jokers. I don't know sometimes. So.
I will say this though, it's kind of because how big Rec is compared to the other divisions this season, and the craziness too is that we're going to be able to really showcase the playoffs for Rec, especially that 1 week, because comp playoffs don't start till the 9th and they go to the 16th, and then elites all in one day on the 9th. So it's going to be Rec weekend playoffs June 2nd, and a lot of that attention is going to be focused on that first round of those playoffs, where we're going to be at 2 fields for Rec. The live streams are going to be going, and I'm really excited to see, even going into Championship Sunday, the atmosphere that's going to be around it, because it's going to be something different. We're changing the atmosphere in Rec, and I think it's only going to go up.
Yeah, I see a question that says, so if Jokers or Pigs win, will they move to comp? That's a question for you guys. Automatically, whoever wins. But I guess there's a question for the team that doesn't win. If you guys go undefeated and lose in the championship, is that something that you would think about as moving up to comp, or would Rumple Pig stay down just to kind of get that Rec championship?
Our plan from the beginning was to do Rec for a little bit until we move up, until we get guys, because we have what I'll say is get us now.
Guys, we got 62 on the sideline.
Yeah, we have get us now. Our team's gonna look very different come fall and come spring. So I don't
You mean
know.
until you get me? That's what you was talking about.
Right. That's exactly
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying. Till we poach all the best players.
Well, unfortunately,
No,
if you guys,
I think it's going to depend on who we have coming for the fall. Obviously, if we move up, awesome. We want to be playing in higher levels for sure. Do I think we're 100% good enough to? I don't know. But we'll see who we're getting moving forward. So I'll
right.
leave that up in the air. I'm not sure. I don't think we're. I'm not going to shit talk and say I think we're good enough to be in comp because I don't know. If we move up, we move up. I'm not sure. We're not there yet.
My honest opinion, I believe the 3 teams that I'm talking about, actually 4 teams, because Metal Militia should be put up there as well. That quarterback is something they've been really doing something. But you 4 teams, my opinion from seeing a lot of you guys, I believe that you guys can definitely compete in comp, and not just go there and just play. I'm talking about really compete. So that's a shout out to you guys, all 4 teams. So
Yeah, and I don't.
definitely.
Obviously, we're new, so I don't know how big the jump is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think the Bullies won it last year, and they're struggling a little bit in comp. So I don't know how much rec to comp translates or
I
comp
think
to elite
you guys.
translates. We have no idea. So
Right, 100%,
I
100%.
I definitely think you guys playing in the playoffs will be not the playoffs,
The
but the
tournament.
tournament.
right,
The tournament's going to be a really big gauge for you guys because you're
right,
going to see a mixture of competition there where you have teams like 4TF might be in the D3.
hmm
So you might see a little bit of upper and lower, and then some of those out of state teams too, where your team's getting a really good idea of what's going to happen because there's even a chance to win a bunch of money there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know.
I
You
think
guys surprised yourself already.
if for some reason we end up competing in that and beating some teams we don't know, then yeah, maybe we have the confidence to move up. We go out there and get our dick kicked in. At least we know exactly where we're at and that we need to get better.
No,
So I
100%.
think
Yeah,
we're open. I think we're open.
a lot of guys that run you, I think that was kind of the mindset back in the day too. Was you kind of get your head beat in, but you know what you're looking forward to. You kind of
Yep.
also because when you go against teams that you're kind of beating every single week, is it really helping? Who knows, right? Sometimes you got to
Great.
lose and kind of have to see a better competition to get a little bit better too. So, but I believe you guys are on the right path. So
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think overall it's going to be interesting to see where those rag teams go after this season,
100%.
or even what they try to do. Because who knows, they might test waters everywhere. So it's going to be interesting to see what new teams are ready. People are already making new teams. So
100%.
it's going to
I
be
saw
people are
a
branching
post
off.
about new teams being made all the time.
Right.
So there's
So
always new teams moving in
it's
and out.
definitely going to
So
be interesting what comes from this season, what hype sticks through summer, and then ends up in fall.
right.
But going into the comp games real quick, and then we got to get into the rule modification as well. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to want to hear this because it's a pretty big rule modification that's going to
I
change.
didn't see the comp. I didn't see the comp scores, so you're gonna have to go over those.
Yeah, I got you. So at 8 a.m. we got in Melrose Park Next Level versus Death Row, which I think is going to be a very good game as well there.
Yeah, very good game. Death Row has been playing very good ball, and Next Level has just been, top of the leaderboard over there. So can't say anything wrong about Next Level, and Death Row has been really, really improving every week. So, but I do have Next Level winning that game. If I had to toss up right now, I'm going Next Level just because they've been just running through everybody. So,
Well, we'll
Next level.
definitely see. And then at 8:50 you got Midwest Bullies versus Dirty Birds at Olympic Park. So that's going to be another good game there. Dirty Birds coming off of they're kind of streaking Midwest Bullies fighting their way in towards that bottom, trying to get a better seating. And then you got Wolverines versus Death Row back in Melrose at 9. So Death Row got that double header.
okay, I got first game. You said I think I'm going with. I'm not going with Bullies. Bullies have been struggling a little bit, so I'm not. I can't go with Bullies. And then in the second game, I think Death Row is going to get their first win of the day. I think Death Row will definitely beat Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean it the Death Row versus Wolverines game is definitely going to be interesting because Death Row can kind of bump their way up a little bit. Wolverines haven't won a game yet, and this is kind of like their opportunity to make that statement towards the end of that season run. Where
Yeah, unfortunately, they're running into a good team with Death Row, who's kind of trying to, like you said, battle themselves back up into the standing. So,
Correct. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. And then you got Old Times versus Midwest Bullies. Midwest Bullies with the doubleheader as well, at 9:50 at Olympic Park. Old Times is about fifth seed right now. They're
They've
kind
been
of
playing better. Yeah, they've been playing better lately.
so going against the Bullies, who are someone they're right. They can kind of fluctuate because Old Times are only 3-4. Midwest Bullies are 2-6. So that game could potentially matter depending on the rest of the season for them. So
So yeah, Midwest Bullies, like I said, I have them losing earlier. Unfortunately, I have them losing this one as well. Standings wise, I just believe, like I said, these teams that are fighting to kind of move up and get those couple wins, I feel like they're going to get those wins because this is the time. Either you do it now or you kind of you're at the bottom. And I don't know if anybody wants to kind of be at the bottom of comp because those two top teams, they look pretty good.
yeah, definitely, because it's definitely that battle in because Comp's format is the same as Elite. So it's the two tiers. The bet it's 8 versus 7. I think I have it as, but I got to relook at it. But the next game is Old Times versus Senators, and then you got so
That's a
Senators.
good game. That don't just squeak past that game. I believe.
I bounced back. I bounced back. I realized I processed the game. But you got Senators who are 4-3, and then you got Old Times that are 3-4. So that could be a sway right there.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good game because Senators have had kind of a up and down season. Same thing with Old Times. That could be a very good game. It could be a toss up in that game. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Old Times. I think, like I said, I believe that they've kind of found something right now, and I think that they're gonna get a couple wins in the next couple games to put them right where they want to be.
We're definitely could potentially see a big sway between the through third through sixth seed because you got Senators, Death Row, Old Times, and Warriors right there, 1 through 3 through 6. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with the Old Times and then Senators because then you also have the Warriors versus Wolverines. Wolverines have the doubleheader. So Warriors might have that game where, it's our opportunity to catch up some points potentially if the Wolverines are defeated. Or who knows? They might upset everyone and go 2-0 on the day.
Could. I don't see it. I think they've been struggling out of all these teams, like you said. Can they put it together? Of course, like any given Sunday, we speak that all the time. But yeah, I think it's going to be rough.
It's definitely going to be a rough weekend for Wolverines because you got Death Row and Warriors on the same weekend.
And they both need wins.
Yeah.
Warriors has been struggling, so Warriors needs that win.
Because right now they're sitting at 2-5.
Yeah. Who?
Warriors.
So they really need that win, and that is unreal. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably the biggest. Like, I don't think I saw that coming. I had them as the top team. Started off this year hot as hell, right? And then bam, man, loss after loss after loss. So, unfortunately, I think they're gonna get a win, right? Because they need it. But man, going into playoffs, they're hurting right now. So. But I know Mark and them got something up their sleeve. Hopefully they pull it out for the playoffs. Playoffs is a different animal, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we got Comp will have their own kind of shifted to it because June 2nd they still got in-season games due to the conflicts that we had at Olympic Park earlier in the year. And then we're going to have their actual playoffs are June 9th. They start off, and then they actually go into Father's Day in the morning. So we'll be playing. They're finalizing them on Father's Day, where we might even have some summer teams that might be playing too. So it's going to be interesting to see how that Father's Day kind of plans out there as well with those comp teams. But we're going in. That was all of our comp games for this week. Now we're going into Elite at Melrose Park at 11. You got Hammer versus New Wave. New Wave coming over the big win that just happened against you guys. That was a very good game.
Yeah,
you got Hammer. So
yeah, New Wave and 4TF game a couple weeks ago was probably one of the best games that I've watched in a long time. Back and forth, two monster teams going back and forth and actually.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all.
All right, bro. You have a good night. But yeah, two
y'all
teams.
when we get this dub on Sunday. Go Jokers.
Yes, sir, man.
Hey, tune back in like 10 minutes. I'll be talking about the announcement about the role. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that game was the game of the week. You can go back, replay that. That's a game they're watching. We have highlights from it, which are awesome highlights. And New Wave is just rolling. I don't think it's going to stop. It would be a surprise if Hammer wins, but I got New Wave winning that game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be able to see what Hammer team shows up for this week. It's the end of the season. I know that already Hammer has had that, they're kind of shaking things up as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually.
Yeah, it's Hammer is a very good team, very capable of winning that game, very capable of shutting down Dom and giving that defense some trouble.
You just never know what Hammer team is going to show up. That's
100%. Like I said, I just think New Wave has definitely been balling, so that you got to give it to him. Can't take it away from him. But if we're talking next week, we're sitting there saying, man, I don't think we would say, man, I didn't see that coming. But definitely would be a surprise and would throw a wrench into the standings as well. So definitely be crazy to see.
Well, now we got the Phantoms versus Reapers game. Phantoms coming in these last two games of their season really needed these final wins to push them up in some seeding right now. And you got Reapers who are sitting there as well. I mean, what's kind of your take on it from your point of view at this time?
My game of the week. Two teams that I say that have to prove something, right? But they're trying.
Reapers are 5-4. Reapers are 5-4. And
yeah, you have two teams trying to prove something here. Okay, you got a Phantoms team who is trying to prove that they're still one of the top dogs. Record wise, they're still trying to put it together. They're right there. Then you have a team in Reapers who are trying to get over that hump, who want to be known as some of the best teams in the league, not just at the bottom, but at the top, not fucking 5-4, right? They want to be up there. So they're trying to put together the end of their season as well. So this would be a huge win for Reapers. It would be, it would get them going into the playoffs on a high spirit. Man, I think this would be big for them.
So what's crazy about this too, though, is that you got Phantoms who are 6-2, and then Reapers who are 5-4. And then you got that 4 and 5 seed.
Right.
So this potentially could even be necessarily a matchup depending on how the Phantoms' other games of this week happen.
Yeah, the way that it kind of ends, the way that Phantoms has another game later. This game, like I said, it's huge. It's huge for Phantoms. Phantoms wins this game. I believe they have second seed sewed up, and possibly what happens with the New Wave Hammer game, they could be fighting for one. So there's so many things that can happen in Elite just for these couple games. I think this game right now is going to be the game that I'm watching. It's going to be the game that it has, like you said, playoff implications. Could be a game that they see each other in the playoffs as well. So, but I do have, this is a rough one. I think I'm going to go, and maybe this lights a fire under Reaper's ass, but I'm going to go Phantoms. They've been putting it together. I think Phantoms gets the win. But again, wouldn't be surprised if Reapers pulled it out. Reapers is a very solid team, been putting it together. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and playoffs are June 9th, guys, for Elite. Elite playoffs are all in one day, June 9th. And then you got, following that game, you got the, oh man, where'd I go? This is what happens when you close out of stuff. All right. Then you got Phantoms versus Reapers, and then you got Phantoms versus Not Perfect. And I'm kind of interested to see what Not Perfect team's going to show up, especially going in this last stretch.
What time is that game?
That game's at 1 p.m. That's why it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. To be very honest with you, Not Perfect. Good. Yeah. They've been struggling, so you're going against Phantoms team, like I said, that need that win. I think Phantoms are going to get that win.
And then, of course, we moved the two teams agreed to move the 4TF Dinos game to the following week on June 2nd, so that way they had players freed up for the TPFL NFE team. So they came together and they moved that game. They will be playing on June 2nd at Olympic Park at 10:50 to finish it. So that's going to be interesting to see, because that is a game that could potentially determine seeding.
We could play it this week. We could play it in 2 weeks. 4TF's winning that game.
Never know, man.
No,
You
I do
never know.
know.
Any given
Oh, I
Sunday.
do know. I do know. I do know. I think at that point, we're gonna have a lot to play for. We every week we have something to play for. But like I said, we want to finish the season out strong. I don't see it. I don't see us having a lapse in that game just because of their record. Unfortunately, I thought this all year that if Dinos got to us at 0-9, that they're going 0-10. That was honestly my opinion, and I haven't changed. Dinos is a good team. They fought really well, and they've had a good, not a good season. You can't say 0-10 is a good season, but they fought right. And we'll see what happens after this. But yeah, I don't think they have a chance.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what does happen in this kind of stretch we see there because it's going to be interesting to see like the final out because you got VGs that are already done at 6-4.
No, I'm
So
sorry, 1-8. My side, Val, my bad. You guys got to win against Not Perfect last week, right?
correct.
My fault. My fault.
So it's going to be
He
interesting to
didn't
see.
give me the scores. I asked him. He didn't give me the scores, man.
I said go on the website. I forgot where I put.
So 1-9, Val. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, but it's going to be a rough one.
Because all right, let's look at the lead standings. We got New Wave at 7-2. You got 14, who's going against Hammer right now, who's 4-5, right? So this game could kind of mean something to Hammer, or it may not. I don't think it may sway the. I think it's going to be interesting who lands on what side of the bracket though, because if you remember last year, Hammer had to go through that 4 games. That's 4 games. That's why we made that bracket the way it
Yeah.
is because it's an elite bracket. It's our version of like, hey, regular season matters as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top there.
Well, like I said, I don't think any of these teams are built for that. So if, like Hammer did, they got to go through 4 games. They got to go through 4 games. A lot of these teams are tournament tested, so that's not too bad for a day.
Yeah, but let's talk about the rule modification we are bringing to the table.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about it.
Uh, it is the rule modification has to do with the instant replay. We've been going back and forth talking with the refs how we can modify this after doing our review and everything, and we feel like we heard what everyone's been saying and they want a point of view. So we kind of modified a little bit for certain events. This rule will be in effect. It's called the rule itself is an adaptation to the TCC, which is the Team Challenge Camera. But pretty much the Elite Eye, we're calling it. It's going to be you're going to be able to automatically have one booth review per game uh, for the following games: the whole NFE playoffs, summer rec and comp semi, not summer, uh, spring. So I got to adjust that. I was supposed to put spring, but spring NFE whole playoffs, and then spring uh, comp and rec semifinals and championship games. You can go on the website, go on the rules, go all the way down, look at the PDF. I got to update that because, well, I have to mention it, but it's going to be full in effect in that, but we're introducing it as well as at Memorial Day Classic. So the Memorial Day Classic this year will have this rule in effect during the whole tournament for 8v8.
And that is the rule is that there's challenges. We have a challenge. Each
So
team has how many challenges?
so you will automatically have one challenge per team for the booth review. So you can go on the following things you can call for reviews: a scoring play, pass, complete, incomplete, interception, runner slash receiver in or out of bounds, sacks on quarterback, off offensive if the ball's away, a replay is down. You have your defensive spot of sack, um, involving placement of the football, whether a legal number of players is on the field at the time of snap. And then you can actually go through the penalties that you can actually challenge as well.
Okay.
So the penalties that you're limited to is flag guard, block in the back, personal fouls, overload, A gap, unsportsmanlike, taunting, targeting, illegal forward pass, roughing the passer, kicker, holder, center, illegal participation, non-flags, 9 men on the field, unnecessary roughness, and intentional grounding. Penalties that you cannot challenge, though, are holding, fighting, PI, offensive or defensive, false start, illegal motion, offsides, illegal formation, delay a game, snap infraction, bench foul, stripping, illegal touching, illegal blocking, charging, illegal contact.
Cozy had a good question. If you win, do you get your challenge back?
You do.
Okay.
So basically,
Now, if you lose, do you lose a timeout?
correct. So that's where I'm actually about to go into it right here. So all scoring. So the ref, and then we have our ref review as well. A part of this, it is any play under 10 minutes in each half can automatically be reviewed by NF staff. On the head official and the replay official, or TCC review. Correct. All scoring plays are reviewed under 2 minutes in the second half of the game. If you challenge a play and lose, you lose your timeout. If you win your challenge, you will regain your timeout. And you keep your challenge and you keep your timeout. You must have at least one timeout to challenge for a replay review. During the review, the clock will stop. Clock will start on the play clock whistle for all reviews done prior to 2 minutes unless the timeout was taken by the team. So if you challenge the play and it will temporarily stop the clock, however, it is not a timeout. That is to challenge the play, so the clock will start at the regain of the play clock. So if you wanted that full thing, yes. So I am the replay official on this. I am in the box where that's why it's only specific events and games. That way I'm there and I have the review and I'll be talking with the head ref through the walkies and reviewing it. And then so it starts on that unless you guys want it. So if you take that time, you say, hey, I want that timeout, then you take that timeout. To overturn the call, it must be able to clearly see the ball, flag, or spot to overturn. Only the head ref and the instant replay official will be able to review the footage of that play. If time expires 3 minutes, we are unable to clearly see to overturn, the team will still have a timeout taken away. So if we cannot officially see it, you will have that timeout taken away. But here's the thing, which is in addition to this rule. So you know how we have the TCC, right? So if you have a TCC, then you automatically gain an extra challenge. So if you have a TCC, your team will have 2 challenges then.
What's a TCC? I'm sorry.
The team camera challenge.
Okay,
your
so
camera
you
person.
still have your own camera.
Correct. If you still have your own camera, you gain an extra challenge. But here's the kicker. If you do that while at the same time we have the booth, both teams automatically get 2 challenges though.
Hold on, what?
So because we have the booth review, if you have a TCC, if you have a team challenge, both teams automatically get 2 challenges then when we have the booth review in it.
Hold on. So if you don't have a team camera guy, you automatically get another one? Because the other team has one?
Because the refs can, because in this new rule, all credential cameras on the field can be used.
The fuck on. Okay. So before it was a plus to have your own cameraman. Now you're saying it's a plus for the other team to have your own cameraman.
It's a plus for everyone, yeah. So
well,
if
then,
you want to gain it,
whatever cameraman out there better go make some money. Go grab a team.
I'm just saying, even have you guys have a cameraman split the fee. Now you got that.
Yeah, you better, because if you don't, then you're getting it for free anyways. It's a ripoff. What the fuck?
Well,
so that makes no sense. So you're telling me if I got a camera guy, right, and I get a chance from my camera guy, and then all of a sudden they be like, hold on, I want to challenge someone, but I want to use their camera guy. They get to use my camera guy, and I have to go and replay that video for them?
You
Is that
can't
what you're saying?
challenge 2 things at one time off of one play.
No, what I'm saying is, so say I have a challenge with my camera guy.
Yes.
Later on in the game, they have a challenge, but they want to use my camera guy. What if my camera guy didn't get it?
Then it doesn't matter. Then that's on them. They fucked over their timeout.
Okay. All right.
Because
I
you have
see a
to clearly
problem
see.
with that. That's all I'm saying. I see a problem with that. Because
Well, the way we
if
have
I'm a
it in the
camera guy,
rule,
I lost that video that they need. It just leaves an open kind of. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. You're rewarding a guy for bringing their own camera. You're rewarding the team for bringing their own camera. I understand that. That's the reason you have it. But in regular season, before we had this, if you had your own camera guy, the other team didn't get a challenge for that. You only got a challenge. Your team was the one that kind of was rewarded for having your own camera guy. That's where I see is a little different. Even if if my team goes out and has somebody to be a camera guy, right? And that means it gives me an extra challenge. Great. But that shouldn't mean that team gets another challenge because I have a camera guy. That's what I'm trying to say. You can talk about it with the board, but it just makes more sense. Like if I do have a camera guy, then I should be the only one that can use that camera guy. Now, hey, both teams got camera guys, and we got the booth, 2 challenges each. Now, here's the question: challenges, you can't challenge, you don't have timeouts, correct?
Correct.
All right, so that's another thing. So no timeouts, no challenge, no matter what. But every score is reviewed, correct? In under 2 minutes. Is that what you said earlier?
Under 2 minutes?
Yeah, every score is being
in the
reviewed
second half.
In the second half.
So it's just me validating. Half of the plays are going to be open plays. We're talking about it only if it's going to be reviewed. We're barely going to notice that stuff because it's majority of it. You're not going to have to review it.
Right. No, I get it. I get what you're saying.
I hear what you guys are saying. We basically we put it is because we listed in there that all credential cameras can be used by the referees.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I agree if it's a ref's challenge, I agree with that. So if a ref has a challenge, if the ref challenges, I agree with them saying we can bring over the players or the team's camera guy to use their camera angle and see if that helps. But we shouldn't have to help the other team out in their challenge, right? We don't know what the hell they're challenging. So if my camera guy's over here recording my sideline and my angle, and all of a sudden they have a challenge and they're like, well, I want to see his video. I'm challenging with his video because they don't have the booth challenge anymore. That's weird, right? So it would make sense to just leave it as if your team does have a camera guy, then you get an extra challenge. It almost gives you a reason to have an extra a camera guy. And then the refs can use all the cameras that are there, all the angles in their challenge. But not in a team's challenge. So if I throw the team challenge and I challenge, I shouldn't be able to use their camera angle either. You know what I mean? That makes no sense. It wouldn't help. That would actually not help my cause, or it would not help their cause. It would help my cause more. Their camera guy. That's all I'm saying. You think about that. Get back to it next week.
I see the point of view because we were looking at it from the aspect of. We made it in the rules so that the refs can use what angle was the best and who was in the best spot instead of just limiting to one camera.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seems, and don't shoot the messenger, but it seems a little messy to try to do it like this as well. But then again, you take that role on, you kind of we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it helps.
The way I look at it is like you miss 1,000 of the shots you don't take, right?
100%.
So like we have this replay rule that we've already had out there. So
yes, Steve, you have to alert the refs before the game.
But that's the thing.
The camera guy.
Correct. So that's in the rules too. You have to alert about that because here's why. So like we're just trying to change some of it to keep it I don't know, better the game, change the game, be unique, be different.
A
And
great, and I like it. I like I
it's not
said,
like we're going to be doing this at the Midwest Elite Showdown. We're not doing this in one of the big tournaments. Like this is a local tournament. You know, let's make it fun, make it interesting. That makes that tournament unique. Then
yeah. Now, is there only so we don't get out of control? Is there a time limit for these reviews? Like
3 minutes.
3 minutes time review. That's done. We're not going over it.
As soon as we do as soon as the challenge is happening, you have 3 minutes. That's it. There's nothing more.
Three
And from what
minutes. If there's no decision, what happens?
you lose your time, you lose your challenge, and you lose your timeout.
If you guys can't come to an agreement, we can't.
Can't come to an agreement, they can't see clearly, that's it, you lose it. And it's the same process have we been doing already, which has already been in effect. And when people have used it, we have found a couple things. So like we didn't just throw this in here, that we just took it to the next level a little bit. So we found that one, if they do have a challenge, they usually have it on them right away and we can see it clearly or not clearly off the bat. The challenges don't usually last more than a minute,
Right.
1 to 2 minute and a half. So when we time that out, the 3 minutes is like worst case scenario. It's a big play. Take your time with it. Give enough time that if you need. But I don't disagree. We were talking, going back and forth, and I kind of see where you're coming from too with the timeout, the extra challenge. I guess we were seeing it more as like
Yeah, I just believe, like I said,
the game
because we,
fair. I
yeah,
guess.
because we opened the door before this about the challenge of if you got a camera guy and you have a challenge. You have to let the refs know before the game that you have a camera guy, and then you're notified. So then we get a challenge flag, right? So we have a challenge. But just because we have a camera, you don't give a challenge to the other team. You see what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be like that, even if you're opening the challenge with a booth challenge. You're already giving us a booth challenge, right? You're giving each team a booth challenge. Now that we had our own cameraman, we should now have two challenges. And if the other team doesn't, then unfortunately they don't have two challenges. That's how it should be. But you guys will talk about it. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
I'm not gonna lie, but we were kind of going back and forth on that one. And I don't disagree with you. So definitely that's something that maybe we rewrite it before we haven't put it into effect yet. So we're polishing it off and we're talking it through. That's why we have it out there so we can get some feedback early on about it too. So it's not feedback is not bad. So if people have different ideas or if they have you want to speak up, it's cool. I mean, let's be real though. Everyone's saying they said it was going to start right last time we had the review. It never did. We've never had an issue. The only time we've had an issue is when people haven't actually said, "Hey, I have a camera person."
Right,
So
100%.
we've never known, and we're not just going to pick up mid game. So the way I look at it is,
Be established at coin toss.
we succeed. We succeeded our test run. Now it's time to step up and actually use the resources that we have. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
But besides that, Memorial Day is looking good. Make sure everyone get their payments, and we're going to kind of wrap this up right now. If you have questions, you can reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. We're at 5 teams paid in full for the 5v5. We're at 5 teams for the 8v8 paid in full. All other deposits are in. So we're going to have a good run. And then we do have one spot open if someone did want to jump in. And we're closing up this weekend. And we're going to set a time to do the live draft for the seedings. We're going to shoot for aim for Sunday. If not, we'll try for Monday. But the games will be at 8:30. 8:39 will be like the 5-man games for the pool play. And then, of course, you'll have the playoffs following that. Only top 4 do make it. So everyone, share. We'll see everyone out there. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. We got lots to talk about next week, moving forward with the tournament and everything else. And interesting to see what the standings play out. And like I said, we're changing things up. It's not always bad, but we can always take stuff away. So that's a good thing. That's why we're testing out with the tournament first, and hopefully it's going to run great and that it's going to work out awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well,
shout out to NFE in the TPFL. Good luck this week for playoffs.
Yeah, way to rep. Way to rep. We'll see you guys all out there. Good luck this week, everyone, and good luck to TFL as well, teams.
Yeah, TFL too as well. Team TFL. Let's go. 2 championships in a weekend.
Yep.